Good afternoon, everyone. This is Cheryl with Cam Art. This afternoon we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to do some art resin projects. So when I do these epoxy or art resin projects, I actually use the art resin product. I've been using it for about 4 years, and it has never turned yellow on me. So it's two-part like it is with most of them. You have to mix it about 3 minutes and 45 seconds before you start using it. And when I'm mixing it, I go in the same direction so that I create as few bubbles as possible. We're also going to do or to use some Indian ink. So I have 3 different colors of Indian ink that I'll show you for this project. We have the white, the emerald green, and then the deep blue, and then also I mixed in some golden aqua. So in order to save you a lot of time and not be so bored, I pre-mixed all my art resin, and I have the containers already pre-mixed with the colors. One thing about art resin is you want to make sure that you don't use it when it's cold, because it will become cloudy, and when it becomes cloudy it just does not cure appropriately. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this awesome mirror. I love all the swirls in this, and we are going to attempt to make an ocean scene within all these swirls. I'm not concerned if I don't get it right the first time, because I have about an inch around all this mirror that if I don't get it right the first time, I'll just come back and do it again. So I'm going to adjust the camera, get it to where you can see the mirror, and then we'll get started. All right, so we're back and we're getting ready to start having fun. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the dark resin back in this back corner of this wave right here. Remember, this is where our hook is. So we want to make sure that when this is hanging on the wall or setting straight up, that it will have some form of the ocean. Okay. I mix 200 cc's total of the art resin. And you want to mix these colors in together. I'm going to try to be very careful to get it back in all the little nooks and crannies, but create some swirling motions like that you would see at the ocean. And I like this mirror underneath this. This is really pretty. I have to find some more of these. I think I'll add a little bit more of this green here. A little bit more blue. Let's mix some blue in this. I think it needs some blue kind of swirling around into it. As I said, I'm not too concerned if this doesn't do right the first time. As you can see, I have a lot of room on this mirror to where if it doesn't do right, I can come right back and go right back over it. Again, I probably have about an inch on this where I can work with this over several days until I'm happy with the end product. this back here, because when this is hanging, you want to make sure that you see all the little nooks and crannies are filled. Always wear gloves. I can't tell you how many times if I didn't wear gloves, I would have the biggest mess. It can become very embarrassing. All right, now we're going to put some white here and see if we can get this to get us some waves going. All right, see what happens. Fill all those little nooks and crannies. I think the other thing I'm going to do is just literally add a little bit of Indian ink directly to this. It's experimenting, so it doesn't hurt. And I'm going to use a straw to blow this back. I happen to have one right here. Alright, not too thrilled with the way my white is turning out. I'm going to go back and add some white acrylic to this and see if I can get better waves coming through. This works a little bit better because the other white, before I added this titanium acrylic, was just literally dropping underneath all the other paint and was just disappearing. Now let's see what we can do. That is doing much better. I'm going to do another wave back here. I have this dark blue, so I'm going to make my other wave right on the back side dark blue. The reason why is because when you look at a wave in the ocean, right underneath the wave is usually dark. So that's going to make that hopefully look really, make that white stand out. So let's start this up. This much better. All right, let's take a look at what I've got here right now, and then we might come back and we will add some more white. But you can see, sorry, the lights are kind of glaring off of this mirror. Let's see if I can do it this way. See how it's looking. So let's start over here on this side with this next really big one. You want to make sure that this stays level. I have it on a cake turntable that I use in my studio all the time, so I can easily turn this. It definitely is a different outcome when you are doing this on a mirror versus a canvas, because your art resin becomes just clear almost. All these colors are just really pretty. Other thing I noticed is that when I'm using the acrylic versus the Indian ink, the art resin is much thicker. So this time, I'll make sure I just have a very, very thin layer of the art resin up here where I'm going to have the waves. Let's see if we can get a little bit more wave action. All right, let's see what we have here. Make sure this is on low. I want this as low as it will go and not as hot, because we're going to add a little bit more. I think I'm going to add some dark blue down here just to get some colors in like we did before. Swirl it around. And now let's add some white. See if we can get a little bit better wave going. more control over this. This gun is hot. Doesn't take long. Okay, I'm liking this one. It is very, very pretty. I'll show you that one. All right, now we have our little small sections, and we'll just repeat the same process through them because I'm thinking this is turning out really pretty. Now, some people may think that this would look really great with a white frame, and you're probably correct. But the good news is that it's really easy to paint this frame because you would probably have to paint it by hand anyways. Oops, I'll make sure I get that up immediately. Just back that up into there a little bit. It looks like a little cove. This piece will be on my shop if anyone is interested in buying it. All the way up there, because when this is hanging, you want to make sure that it is very, very much, every little nook and cranny is filled. Let's add a little bit of ocean, a little bit of wave action here. Now, I think on this one, because that is so small, that I'm on, because it'll continue to move a little bit, even though I keep it really level. Now, before I started this project on this mirror, I cleaned it really, really well. I mean, I did a lot of cleaning on it. Made sure that all the dust was off. And then I used my blow dryer to make sure that there wasn't any lint left on it from the towel I used to dry it with. And then I let it set for about an hour before I started working on it, because I wanted to make sure that everything was really good and dry. Here, a little bit of art resin there. Sure, I'm getting all that art resin off because you don't want that on here. As you can see, I've been working with this art resin for quite a few minutes. It was already pre-mixed before we started this video, and it's doing just fine. All right, let's add some white in. I think I'm gonna add some blue, mix some blue in with this green down here. And we're on our last section. It is really, really looking beautiful. Cannot believe how beautiful it's looking. sure we keep all three colors consistently going with this, because you don't want to have one piece or one little section looking different than the other sections, because then it won't be cohesive. So you can see that I continuously use all the colors. That way you keep that cohesive feel. As you, no matter how you're looking at this, you're going to see the same colors throughout. All right. Man, that is really pretty. I think I'm gonna come over here, add a little bit more blue. See how this one has all that really pretty blue in it? The darker blue. I think I'm gonna come over here and add a little bit more darker blue into that side. What I did with this is I ended up using, if you'll recall, instead of adding the Art Resin, I added this straight to the artwork to get that blue running through there. Because you want that dark blue. Now I'm going to add a little bit of this back in there, because that's not quite full. Too much of the mirror showing on it. And then we'll stir this around. Wow. Almost afraid to do anything else with that, but I really think I need a wave back here. Man, I need some green mixed in. Just add some interest to this area right back here. That wave moving that way. This is turning out much prettier than I even thought it ever would. Your waves come and they go, so when you're blowing, you blow some this way and you blow some that way. Okay. I'm gonna spin this just a tiny bit, just to get this to mix up a little bit more. And I think we are done. This is so much prettier than I ever thought it would be. I'm gonna bring it up close to you so you can see this. Good morning, everyone. This is Cheryl. Look at this beautiful piece. I absolutely love it. The black frame is perfect for it. So we could not have asked for a better outcome. I was prepared to go back and do some additional resin if I needed to, but I think it's just beautiful the way it is. Here's a picture frame that I had left over in the studio with some, so I've added some art resin of that and some stars, just something to play around with. And then with the other resin, I made some shells and some stars that will show up sooner or later in some other art projects. Everyone, I hope you had a good time watching this. Thank you for staying with me, and I look forward to doing the next video with you. Have a great day.